Hey, what's going on, team? I wanted to make a quick video here reviewing a play from the watch list today on Facebook. There were a few things right at the open that were telling me to short this stock, and I feel like it was a pretty easy play, despite where we closed today. This is actually a nice close, right? We have this bullish hammer candle right there, right at resistance around 190. This may even make the watch list tomorrow for a pop above. But I want to talk about the short side of this play within the first 30 minutes or so of market open. I think that this gave me probably an 80 to 85% chance of winning this trade this morning. And so I'm just going to detail a couple of things that I noticed were happening, all of which took place not on the daily chart, but on the 5-minute chart. So we had this nice big push up yesterday, right? I think that was close to like a $7 move there, and I noticed that we pushed up, but we weren't really consolidating or building any type of support here. And I've noticed too that Facebook doesn't make moves like that normally. Let's see how many times it's happened in the 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 times a move that size has happened in about the past 4 months. So this is a really kind of a rare move for this stock to make. It's actually been like nobody's really had this on their radar. It's been dipping around and kind of consolidating. I don't think a lot of people were watching this stock for that move up. But once that happened, it put it on my radar yesterday, and I wanted to see if this move would hold. So this move right here, even though we didn't play it yesterday, caught my attention for today. And so the first thing that I kind of noticed was, okay, where did we close? Where did we close yesterday? I'm going to draw a trend line right here for you, right around 188.8. This is important because pre-market, you can see that we were being pushed down. This is kind of also right at this area of support. And where do we have any support below? I don't see much support below, right? So that was like trigger one. Okay, maybe it might be time to short Facebook. Trigger two was that China yesterday threatened to retaliate on some countermeasure with a countermeasure to a U.S. bill that supported the Hong Kong protesters. So I felt like that put a little bit of hesitation in the market. I believe if you go back and look on SPY, we had a bit of a sell-off after hours after that push yesterday. So okay, there was a little bit of hesitancy in the market, right? I could feel that going into today. That was kind of trigger two, that we may have a red market. The third thing that told me to short this was this level right here where we closed. That is kind of a big resistance level, because what happens when a stock opens up lower than what it closed yesterday, and then moves above, right? That's called a red to green move. So you can see once we opened up and came down, we kind of had this like this symmetrical triangle pattern right here. I'll draw that out for you. Then we popped up above. Well, as soon as we hit this level, we met resistance and consolidated before popping up above, and even still came down and consolidated, which built a lot of. So this is like really where we built the support. We would have liked to see this kind of thing yesterday, maybe a little lower here. That said, okay, this thing comes down to that level, it'll bounce there, and then we can take it long a little lower. But that didn't happen. So yeah, this level right here was important. With all of the negative news, with the negative news yesterday, and understanding that it was opening lower than yesterday's close, and the fact that we pushed down, right? We opened up lower than our support level here. Those were my 3 triggers. All right, it's time to short this name. I didn't feel like it was going to have the power to push up right out of the gates and make a red to green move. So actually, I took an entry. Let me see. The short trigger on this was 188. So it was right around this level. So what I did though was I took an entry when it pushed up. I took an entry to short this stock when it met this kind of resistance point, right? Because it can never be an exact level. So think of this as like a resistance zone. I entered a short position when it pushed up here and caught this first move down. This first move down from 188.46 to 187.22, that's a dollar move. That's perfect. That's a big move for me. I'm fine with that. I took profits. I didn't even wait until the next candle. I didn't flip the script and take it long. I took my scalp down and got out of that position. That was enough. That was enough of a move for me to take plenty of profits off of. I then came back a little later on. I think I was watching a couple of other tickers. I came back later on and I was like, okay, this thing pushed all the way back up. Here we have this 21 EMA, which is this orange line. We have some resistance that I see was met here. And I was thinking, well, the volume's dying down. Do we have enough power to push up, make a high, and break through this zone? I didn't think so, right? So I started building into another short position here, and I took the scalp down on this move. I scalped it right here again, came back another 10 minutes later. It pushed up. I actually didn't catch it up here. I came back a little later. I believe it was like right maybe towards the end of this candle, just before this move happened. Saw that this candle closed below the resistance line, right? Which at this point we can see clearly was the 21 EMA. Took a short position here and scalped it down again. Now, despite what it did after that, I didn't revisit this stock. I had 3 plays, 3 for 3 on all 3 of those red candles there for the gains, and it did wind up building out. Somebody pointed it out earlier. I believe Nike Boy in the group pointed this out. Like a little symmetrical triangle right there, right? And then it popped up over to the top side, met that resistance, consolidated, popped up over, kind of consolidated and built some support going into tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, I think that this is a bullish setup. I think that if it can hold these levels above 190, maybe open up around 190.55, we could see some nice green. But again, those 3 things, we had hardly any support over here. The fundamental news at the open was a little hesitant, a little negative with China retaliations, and the fact that it opened lower than yesterday's close led me to be really short biased on this ticker. So I know this was a short little review on Facebook, but I hope that this kind of cleared up a few things. This was, for me, a really easy trade. This was about an 80 to 85% chance of it being a winner. I took 3 quick scalps on it, made some great money, and moved on to the next ticker. If this video helped you out, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Click that like button, and I'll see you next time tomorrow.